Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time for some more Baldur's Gate 3. Now, this is actually my second time attempting to record this episode. I tried a couple of nights ago on Wednesday night, and the recording corrupted after I'd been playing for about an hour and a half. And yeah, I played a good long episode, and so I couldn't upload that. It was just unwatchable, you know. So by that point, I'd been playing a long time, it was late, I was tired, I just didn't want to, and I was feeling sort of creatively drained and didn't want to sit down and do the whole thing all over again. So I thought, I'll leave it till tomorrow night when I've got my regular weekly game of Necromunda. And if I've got the energy afterwards, I'll do it, otherwise it will have to wait till Friday night. So here we are, Friday night, just gone 2 in the morning. Perfect time to begin, right? Right? Okay, so it's quite annoying because last time, when recording corrupted, I did really well. Lots of things went very well. I explained my 5 theories of related to the mindflayer tadpoles. Well, my 4 or 5 theories. Which I accidentally forgot to do in the previous episode when I got distracted by speaking to the dead cultist and doing a quick paranoia check to make sure the recording was going okay and hadn't corrupted yet. Now, something else I want to point out is if we look here, these two, recast speak with dead condition and the warding flare. If we just sit and watch them, every few seconds they spasm and displace and come back into place. And I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with the warding flare. There we go again. Because if I turn it off and come back up here, and we sit and we watch and we watch and we watch the recast speak with dead condition, it doesn't have a problem at all. It doesn't jump about, it doesn't get all juddery. Whereas when the warding flare is selected, they both start having problems. So there's something odd going on there, something very odd. Now, I'll attempt to recreate what I did last time. I can't imagine I'll do anywhere near as well, but if I can do at least half as well, I'll be quite pleased. So, we got Astarion back in the party for traps and locks and things. We got Will in the party for the goblins. We've got over here Lae'zel in the party for the Githyanki, and no Githzerai, unfortunately. It's a shame. The Githzerai are much more easy to get along with than the Githyanki. Let's put it that way. But also, I found an intruder in our camp. We have these lovely tents, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of our companions now seems to have I won't call it a personal tent because Astarion's standing quite far away from his, and because the tents all look very, 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 very similar, if not identical. But over here, on the beach, we have an interesting something. The mummy from the tomb is back here to speak with us. So let's say hello to him and see what he wants. He did say we'd meet again after all.
We meet again, as predicted. I shall be here in thy camp, for whenever thou hast need of my services.
So at this point, it either means it's like a one-off thing, or he's here to fulfill a role, a bit like Sandal and Boden Fedek in the Dragon Age Origins camp. And I bring that up for a reason, because there will be another Dragon Age reference blatantly at some point during this episode, if I am able to repeat the same steps I did last time. Would you care to explain why you're helping me?
Be assured, it is not by choice.
Okay. So I'm thinking at this point, as he is the guardian or caretaker of tombs, probably something to do with Kalimvor telling him to. I'm not entirely sure. It could be something to do with one of my Tadpole theories, but I'll get back to those later. So what kind of services do you offer exactly?
A mending of the threads between life and death. Should thou or any of thy compatriots perish, I will cleave soul to body once more.
That's incredibly powerful magic. Why is it so easy for you?
Because it is my calling. There is little else to explain.
I mean, in one regard, you could say he is the caretaker of the tomb, so he just, like, stores the bodies and the souls away somewhere and then comes and brings them back when they're needed. Impressive, and that's probably pretty expensive. What's this cost?
A matter of coin.
Right, that's very cheap. I suppose it's a way of getting companions back in the party. But we shall see. Well, it's outrageously cheap, but I'm not going to kick up a fuss about this. I think we've spoken enough to him. And maybe, just maybe, he isn't going to stay here on the beach, but rather he will be in the old ruins on the side of the camp over this way. You know, just across this fallen tree trunk. In here, for example. This might be a good place for him to stay. But he feels very much like he is now suddenly a mere utility character. It would be nice to see him be able to do some more things. Also, it would be nice to get Gale back in the party. He's fun, and I'd like to have him around, but he doesn't have as much of an urgent purpose as many of the others. So let's get ourselves cozy, have a nice rest, get all our hit points back, get all our powers back, and carry on with our quest. Astarion can help out with tricks and traps and a few problems that we want to take care of this episode, and then we can swap him out for Gale again at some point. And so everyone lies themselves down to bed, and then magically disappears just before the screen goes dark. So we're now back in the Druid's Grove, waiting for everything to finish loading in, because the game's being like that. Yeah, I could totally turn settings down, but these are the settings that my computer has detected and said they are the right settings for me to run this game on. Which means that either my computer's wrong, which it could very well be, or the game's just not properly optimized yet, and that will come later on. So I might as well wait. It also could just mean that 2 of the hard drives are really full up with stuff and I need to create some more space to make things run more smoothly. I've been doing that for the last few weeks, and it's not easy because you have to go sorting through folders and organising things. It just takes forever, you know. Don't want to accidentally delete something that I've only got 1 copy of, or that I actually want to keep. Now, what was I doing here, apart from visiting the traders? Oh yes, my 5 theories about the mindflayer tadpoles. So, let's turn to face the sun, it's a little more exciting. So it's worth pointing out that one of these theories is a placeholder, anything else that needs to be added theory. So, theory number 1. I'll move away from these druids so their chanting doesn't disturb us a little bit. Now, actually, I'm heading this way for a reason, because when I originally came here, I did take a few steps in this direction before deciding actually that path seems to go rather a long way. And I didn't explore it because I had to go see Korga. Now, though, I will push a little bit in this direction because I did actually explore down this path last time when recording corrupted. So, to the best of my knowledge, the process of ceremorphosis was not documented before it first appeared in the Illithid, which is copyright 1998, but knowing gaming and role-playing products often have the copyright listed of the year before the year they came out, it might not have come out until 1999. I think it came out around April, May, June-ish, and I picked up a copy as soon as it came out. It was a good book, as good as I, Tyrant, the Beholder book. And in the Illithid, when the process of ceremorphosis was described, it was clearly being introduced, a bit like not quite a school textbook, but definitely in a, you haven't seen this before, here is some useful information, and we will present it to you in a detailed and thorough manner to make sure you fully get all the information you need, right? And there was no mention of, as documented before, and if you want more information on this, go read this previous adventure or whatever. I'm not aware of any first edition adventures that detail the mindflayer reproductive system. In fact, I'm not aware of any first edition adventures that actually feature mindflayers at all. They were in the monster manual, and they were a nasty, horrible monster that, kind of weird alien thing with a round octopus-shaped head and 4 tentacles that lived in deep dark dungeons very, very far underground, and had psychic mind blast powers and would stun people with the power of its mind and use psychic abilities which were very rare and very hard to get hold of. Now, yep, the intellect of arrows were also in the first edition monster manuals, but again I'm not aware of any adventures that featured them heavily. So, we can presume that ceremorphosis, it's about at least 20 years old, and definitely from the last century. And we can say that the ceremorphosis our characters are undergoing is not the same ceremorphosis it was many years ago. Although the differences seem mainly superficial. Essentially, the process has not changed very much at all. The difference here, obviously, is that our characters have not turned into mindflayers yet. There are a number of possible reasons for this, right? So, yeah, oh dear, I'm not handling this very well, am I? Right, so my first theory goes something like this. Maybe, out there, somewhere, there is an elder brain floating in its briny pool, firing blanks, right? So theory number 1, there is something faulty with these mindflayer parasites. They're not working properly, they're not doing the job properly. That would mean there's a whole batch, like every one in the pool was probably deficient. However, this is an unlikely theory. First off, the mindflayers do not generally question the wisdom of the elder brain, because they believe it is their perfect superior, creator of all their life and so on, right? And the mindflayer tadpoles cannibalize each other in the pool. They swim around gobbling each other up, and as they do they get stronger and bigger, and then the ones that gobble up the most tadpoles are the successful ones that are chosen for implanting into victims to turn them into mindflayers. If there's something wrong with these tadpoles that means they're not eating, then they probably wouldn't get chosen, and the mindflayers would probably notice that there was something wrong with their spawning pool. The fact that they had a spawning pool full of tadpoles on the Nautiloid is unusual, to say the least. Maybe that Nautiloid was the remnants of a mindflayer colony who had lost their elder brain. Maybe it had been destroyed by a bunch of Githyanki, or some powerful heroes had come in and destroyed it, and they were a group of mindflayer refugees fleeing, seeking to repopulate their colony and grow a new elder brain somehow. And that could explain why the ship was desperately capturing new victims who could be implanted with tadpoles. That's a nice little idea. I didn't necessarily have that one before, so nice to add that. Right, theory number 2 is that we are special. We are protected. For some reason, the mindflayer tadpoles don't want to gobble up our brain and transform our body into a body for them to live in. Now, this is Baldur's Gate 3. In Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2, we played the Baal spawn, right? Literally a character bearing the taint of an evil immortal god whose energy had been kind of scattered. And so we were like a demigod in Greek mythology terms. And that made us special, and we had lots of dreams and hallucinations. And guess what? We got to make a second character in this one, so they will probably appear in our dreams and hallucinations, and may very well be the way that the divine energy communicates with us. Then again, with the mindflayer tadpole, it could also be the mindflayer tadpole appearing in our dreams and hallucinations. So that's theory number 2. Theory number 3 is that someone is intentionally... Oh yeah, so theory number 2 doesn't hold up so well because we have run into a very large number of people. Not just us and our 5 companions, but also a great number of cultists out in the woods, and also the dead drow cultist. So there's at least 2 cultists out in the woods, and we've been told there are quite a few more who are chosen by the Absolute. And she has sent them to the ship to look for her beautiful weapon. Now, I don't know if it was in a previous episode in this playthrough or with one of my other characters that Shadowheart said that when she survived the wreckage of the ship, she heard a voice speaking to her, and it told her that she was a beautiful weapon. The exact same words the cultists used to describe us, basically, when they were talking about looking for the survivors from the shipwreck. So that is very dodgy, right? So yeah, theory number 3 is that someone is creating tadpoles that don't work properly, right? Tadpoles that perform the ceramorphosis process rather more slowly. Now, this could be a rogue group of mind flayers. It could be the Absolute, who I still suspect is probably a mind flayer, or at least in league with them. Or it could be anyone else for that matter, right? It could even be the antagonist. So, yes, when mind flayer children... There are no mind flayer children. They emerge fully formed when they ceramorphosize a person and turn into one. But if you can imagine mind flayer parents wanting to scare little mind flayer children, they would tell them stories about the antagonist. The antagonist is apparently a mind flayer who has free will and is not controlled by any elder brain, and who wants to destroy mind flayer society. And all mind flayers fear the antagonist. He was also introduced in the illithid, about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through the book, I think on the left-hand page. I can't remember the exact page number. Ceramorphosis is like page 10 or 11. But anyway, so if someone is creating mind flayer tadpoles that work a lot slower, then why would they do that? And I can think of a few reasons, right? The first one would be infiltration. To have sleeper agents or spies moving around within society, possibly identifying potential victims to actually be captured and turned into mind flayers, or as part of some other nefarious plan. Now, if this is a mind flayer doing this, and bear in mind that we have been told that mind flayers are the big bad evil villains of this game, then most mind flayer schemes and plans all revolve around finding a way to extinguish the sun. Mind flayers hate the sun. They don't like the sunlight. It dries out their skin. they tend to have to go and soak in the pools of the same stuff for mindflayer tadpoles to float around with just to keep their skin moist. Like 1 or 2 times a day. Take a gunk bath, essentially. Yeah, they're slippery, slimy tentacle monsters. It's revolting. They can't stand the bright light of the sun. It hurts their eyes. It burns their skin. It's just a horrible, horrible thing that they want to destroy and get rid of so that they can get on with their big world universe domination plans. So, why would mindflayer sleeper agents be infiltrating society looking for ways to extinguish the sun? I suspect it's not that. I suspect it's something else. Another possibility is that it's someone who's working against the mindflayers, right? Someone like the antagonist, who is like, if I put a mindflayer tadpole in this person's head, then another mindflayer tadpole won't go in there. It'll be like rejected or something. So kind of like a protection thing to prevent mental domination through a little bit of mental domination that is already there. So there's something odd going on there, right? I do not think the Absolute is a good person. I still feel they're very much definitely a villain. And that they'll be hiding in deep dark caves underground somewhere. So that was, let's see. Theory number 1 is there's an elder brain firing blanks. Theory number 2 is we are protected. Theory number 3 is someone is intentionally creating faulty mindflayer tadpoles. And then theory number 4 was any combination of the above or something I haven't thought of yet. And theory number 5 was, what if the person who is intentionally creating faulty tadpoles is also the one that is protecting us, which again ties in with the Absolute wanting to recover us from the wreckage. But that would mean that either she did something to protect us before arranging for us to be abducted by mind flayers and put on the ship, or that she's... And she would have also had to know the ship would crash, so she might also be involved with the Githyanki who attack. So there's some kind of big plot or scheme that I'm not quite seeing all the details of yet. But let's carry on. So I wanted to continue down this path. And there, if you listen, while for some reason something judders and freeze frames from up there, as an autosave occurs, there is some quite nice singing going on down on the beach. And if we continue on down this path, I'm suspecting this episode won't quite be as long as the previous one.
Singing. It's beautiful.
For Lae'zel to say that is most unusual. The line seems to be handed to a... I won't necessarily have a party member in second place or a random party member, I'm not sure, but with a second character I have experienced this section after recording the faulty recording that didn't work, and Lae'zel wasn't even in the party, and that time Shadowheart said it. Now, the map marker says Entranced Child. So I was thinking it's going to be something like a mermaid, right? Or a Selkie, luring, or maybe even sirens, luring people to their doom. So I want to be careful about that. And I thought before I deal with that, I should explore up here a little more. Right? Because there's this path over this way. So I did. I came up this way. And here we have a woman in lavender tones, almost purple, playing an invisible instrument, singing to the little animals that have come out to listen to her. And it's heavily reminiscent of Disney's Snow White. But let's say hello to Alfira.
Dance upon the stars tonight. Smile and pain will fade away. Words of mine will change. No. Because
I cannot remember at all what I did last time, but it worked out quite well. So I want to be careful. I think I should not interrupt her when she's trying to find her train of thought again.
Change? No! Damn it!
Are you alright?
No, I'm moments away from a grisly death. At the hands of this bloody song! I can't... Nothing fits, you know?
Ah, that's the creative process for you. Agony and ecstasy. Mostly agony.
True. And when you finally perfect a song, there's nothing like it. But when you're stuck, and it's just getting worse, oh.
So at this point, I was thinking maybe we could go investigate the singing down on the beach and come back and tell her about it and take her down there to listen, and she could become inspired and finish her song. So I said, can I help you finish your song?
It can't hurt. I have an extra lute, if you want.
Me thinking I might not be the best musician, so first things first, what's the song about?
My teacher, Lihala. She loved dancing. Had 2 left feet, mind. I remember waking up one night on the road and seeing her
Bell distorts.
dancing beneath the stars, a huge smile on her face. Thinking of it now, my heart hurts. And my words just seem to crumble, like ash. Wait. Words of mine will turn to ash. That's
There we have
perfect.
it. Inspiration has struck. The bells distort as she stands and rises. It's early access, it's fine. I will have something to say after this conversation, but yeah, I want to encourage her. She seems to maybe be going in the right direction. That is a reasonably good phrase.
Words of mine will turn to ash when you cool the last light down. Yes, yes!
And now we get all Dragon Age origins. As an entire backing group magically manifests out of thin air,
Dance upon the stars tonight. Smile and pain will fade away. Words of mine will turn to ash when you call the last light down.
and she suddenly gains an American accent to sing.
Your grace, all the love I can't repay. Rest and know that I will pray. Farewell, my dear old friend.
You gotta love the little squirrel's head banging down by her feet there. And this is very Origins, very Leliana's song. Head-banging squirrels! They're like, man, if only she did this as heavy metal. And she's like, what's heavy metal? Little druid groupies in the background there, synchronized, genuflecting.
Dance upon the stars tonight.
sorry.
And now her English accent is back. So don't worry. You know, let the tears out, let the emotion flow. It's totally understandable in this situation. You've worked for so long and so hard at this. And it was a really good song.
She'd have said the same thing. That's the first time I've played since Lihala died. My teacher. She was playing her lute. We didn't hear the gnolls coming. There was so much blood. I can still smell it.
You know, if your teacher was here now, I'm sure she'd be proud of what you come up with. I don't want to go with option 4. I'm sticking with option 2.
She'd yell at me for that clunky verse. And make me play till my fingers were raw. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Finish the Weeping Dawn. For her. I've a long way to go. But thank you. I needed this.
You're welcome. So, that was a nice little scene, right? Also, it probably confirms a suspicion, which I'll get to in a little bit. And the little squirrels there, they're just totally entranced by her singing, rather like the child down by the beach. Now, this would be where the Origins echoes came in. I think the disembodied backing orchestra, while mostly strings to match the lute she was playing, felt a little forced and not entirely needed. It was really nice. And you might think, well, if she can create an entire musical backing group out of thin air, that's a powerful, magical ability all of its own. It was a nicely composed scene. I like it. I do feel that the developers might have been trying a little bit too hard to make the scene too perfect, which made it a little bit fourth wall breaking. Now, let's play a little game called Reading Tooltips. Wisdom. Druids, rangers and clerics use wisdom as their spell casting ability. The likelihood spells will land. Now, we are in the Druid's Grove. There are a number of druids here. This does not mean they need to be members of any sort of druid character class. They could be clerics with some kind of special abilities or something. Who knows what their actual stats are behind the screen, right? We can't see, exactly how the developers have created these NPCs. However, let's continue. Charisma. Bards, paladins, sorcerers and warlocks use charisma as their spellcasting ability. The likelihood spells will land. Now, these could simply be default placeholder tooltips, so that 5th edition players will see the classes they're familiar with and go, oh yeah, and not question why didn't charisma say that bards and paladins use it? Why didn't wisdom say that druids use it, right? However, the Steam store page does say that they are intending to add more character classes and races during the early access period as they lead up to launch. The most obvious would be the missing gnomes. However, many had theorized that Druid would be a playable class, because it's right there and we've seen a load of Druids already. If a Druid class is added, there would be a Druid tag to go down here, and that could lead to some interesting conversations coming into the Druid's Grove early on, especially if you agree or disagree with the Druid politics going on at the time. And actually, the Druid girl over that way who was talking to the bird, asking it to go look for their master, she might not want to stay here too long, and when we leave we might meet her somewhere else in the future, although she doesn't feel like a long-term character. Athera there, singing to the tiny little squirrels, well, massive squirrels really, about her love for her long-lost mistress could actually become... I could see her joining up with us as a companion long-term later on, as a bard companion. And we all know that if they put a paladin class in the game, I will jolly well play it pretty much straight away. Possibly even record a playthrough playing that character. Who knows? So I'm looking forwards to seeing how those classes are introduced. I think for now, the reasons for the absence of such classes could be the mechanics of how the class works and how it would integrate into the game here. Maybe the paladin has an ability in 5th edition that I'm not aware of that was a bit clunky and difficult to implement, and that's why we haven't seen them yet. Maybe there's a paladin NPC we haven't met yet who will foreshadow the class, but we'll bump into just as we've met druids and a bard. Now, let's go down to the beach today and see who's in for a big surprise. It's like a teddy bear's picnic, but on the beach. So this singing is rather more relaxed and calm than her singing. I could almost say soothing. But also it's a lot more forceful. You know, it's louder, it reaches much further. Let's go talk to the little boy Mercon, his name is.
Shh! Listen!
Let's listen and see what he hears.
A sweet melody beckons you. It vibrates with magic. A harpy's charm.
Okay, so I passed that check before, and then I attempted to resist. I wanted to just close my eyes and listen to the song, go with it, see if I could feel it for a little while, and then resist after I had a better feeling of what it was. However, I thought back to the incident with the mindflayer and the ship. Look at her, she's like completely gone, blitzed out of existence. So I will attempt to resist. Now, I'll have you know that previously I succeeded this roll, but hey, the dice might just hate me tonight, so let's find out together, shall we? It seems that I am now almost able to perfectly recreate my previous episode, so that's good!
The suffocating yearning suddenly fades.
Oh, look at that expression.
As the spell breaks. You are free.
Get back! It's a trick!
No, it's just a bit of water. I only want to listen. Just a little closer. Yes, everything's gonna be fine once I get there.
Harpies. Or sirens. Now we know what's going on. Okay, Astarion. Let's get funky. How many are there? 1, 2, 3. Come on, I saw one here. 4. Alright. So what we are going to do is switch to bow. Use the rogue dash. And run up to here. And then take a sneak attack from our elevated position at this harpy all the way over there. Target outside normal range. Well, it's as good as we're going to get, really, so hey. Nice shot. I'll take it. And then end his turn. So that was a rather petulant squawk. Let's see what Will can do here. Can we hex? If we go wisdom, is generally and then blast for the extra damage and hope we hit. What do you mean cannot reach? It's right here, man. It's right there. See? Oh, a fumble! Let's get him out of the water. Pull him back up the beach. Now the problem here, of course, is that the little boy is highly at risk here. And we need to protect him at all costs. However, we possess a scroll. A scroll of protection from good and evil. The target can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. So celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. And these are monstrosity. So it might not have any effect at all. Disadvantage when attacking, but I used it last time, so I'll do it again. And then I will head through the water to try and give more targets so the boy is less vulnerable. Now, Lae'zel, you're required to kick this mother plucker's arse. Beautifully done. But you know what? Could you maybe do it again? That would be great. That would be really good, actually. Oh, superb. Then maybe push it. Okay, we tried. And walk around a bit. Get nearer the others. Okay, that went really well for Lae'zel. She'll probably be failing saves and charmed and dominated and all sorts very soon. I'm so glad she didn't go for little boy. Oh, they're doubling down on the beach action here. Interesting, they're picking on Will. Right. Let's try just finishing this one off completely. That was pathetic, but oh well. Now, what are you going to do? Oh no, she's singing the harpy's song! Right, well. Ugh, not ideal. What are the odds? Well, it's extra damage, but it's no damage at all if we can't get a hit in. Dark One's Blessing. A gift from your patron grants you temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier and warlock level combined. Okay, so it's not a bad thing overall. Let's search this body while we're here just to make sure it's thoroughly empty. This is working out quite well. Apart from the little boy who is and Lae'zel apparently, who's also being lured. Right, so that's not ideal. Okay. We obviously want to do something about this. That's not entirely bad. But we also have Scorching Ray. So I could fire off one here. One of these. She's the one singing, and the one I should try to interrupt. But also we do want to get some damage down here on the beach by the little boy, so we'll go for that. So you are damaged. And my Hail Mary shot, still singing. That's a bit of a problem. Okay, Lae'zel's done. Jaria. Coming back to protect the boy. And I think I don't have anything else to do there apart from drink a potion, so I will end my turn. Lae'zel, you have had all your actions already. And here comes another harpy up to no good, shrieking at... Was that the boy? No, it wasn't. Good. Thank goodness for that. Oh no! Astarion, you were doing so well!
I'll skin you alive, you fell wretch!
Who said something about a harpy there? Right. You've got the wisdom hex on you, have you? Well, in that case, let's jump up here. Oh, would I have to run to here to jump? Yep. I'm still doing it for the height advantage. And then blasting down. The Blade of Frontiers says you're gonna take damage. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Little boy, don't... What's he doing? Right, we can't let this happen. We absolutely have to put an end to this. We don't have backstab. We're not a thief. I'm a little confused. Oh, you beauty. We saved the child. And this harpy had a skull. Not just the one inside her head either, apparently. He seems to be coming back to his senses. That's great. As long as another harpy doesn't come flying down here, he's okay. And I should totally set up this warding flare now as well before I forget. Lae'zel, do you get a turn this turn? You do? Why, that's really great news. How about we jump really far, yeah? How about we jump to nowhere, dash, then jump to, like, say here. And then you obviously want to climb up to here and be near your enemies, right? They're luring you anyway, so it's great. Just watch as one of them like flies across to perch all the way over here, or even up there, you know, at the end of this path. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, that's good. That's as long as they're not attacking the boy, I'm happy.
I'll skin you alive, you fell wretch!
Well, he's pretty determined on this skinning thing. I mean, after all, underneath the skin there is the flesh and blood and bones and blood. And all the blood he likes. So, yeah. Oh no, not Will as well. Well, Will. Will. Well, 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 Will. Well, 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 well. Right, so she's just run up there like an idiot. We appear to still have full control. And we can even do... Right, so... Guiding Bolt is a single... attack roll. Does a lot of damage. At this point, we don't have great odds of hitting, so 3 attack rolls is better. 1, 2, 3. And then we just try and get as far this way as we possibly can. That worked out quite nicely. Okay. Lae'zel, you're charmed. Forget it. There she goes. There are some nice roots there that we can climb.
I'll skin you alive, you fell wretch!
The boy is still healthy. Right. Astarion, you are needed, sir. You are needed to go really fast.
Ha!
And then, like, run up here. You're lying, you can get really far. Is it the water slowing him down? Huh. Well, how about up here then? You can get up there, right? I can get line of sight to this harpy, it just won't be easy. The dash was free, so he can definitely move as far as he wants to get the shot. They can fly over here as well though, so getting back up here on the rocks would be pretty wise. Also, I've just remembered something. I have found the magic button. The magic button that, if it works as it says go away evil metric measurements, we don't want you. Let's use real measurements people can actually relate to that make sense. And apply, and close, and go, yeah! Oh, thank goodness. That has been annoying me so much. Right, so we can't jump with this, right? That is the downside of this. So let's see, we're here on the edge of the water. We want to get up here, so maybe we just proper dash, right? And go really far. All the way up the path, onto these rocks, and we are starting to get in position again. And see, we did have enough move after all, you lying game. Right. Here we are. Yeah, you try and hurt her, that's fine.
Now, monster, I'll make you pay.
Will, you might be in for a bit of a disappointment here, but this is called damage. Who's singing? This one isn't singing. This one is singing, okay. Okay, the singing has stopped. Will, you've done us a good one here. Move out to that central position to deviate towards either of them. Oh no, Mercon, don't! Right. We'll go to here, and we'll say, you horrible monster, you. Feel the guiding light of a sunbolt from the moon! Look, it's right here, not her. Silly game. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're JRR. Right, Lae'zel. Vengeance at last. Or... is this a dumb idea? This feels like a dumb idea. Let me all tell you now, this feels like a dumb idea. So, cast jump to triple her jump distance. Leap across to here and threaten this one and lock it down. Thing is, this one does need dealing with pretty quickly. Oh yeah. Let's go to the edge. Anything here we can pick up and interact with? No. Excellent. So yeah, to the edge it is. And if we wanted to jump across, we don't need a spell. This woman is a legend. Olympic long jumpers eat your heart out. There we are. And if only we had the action surge left, but she's in a good place. Yeah, you feel threatened, that's fine. Just hop over to there and squawk a bit. Uh-oh. Astarion, how your save's doing? You seem fine. So just shoot it. No sneak attack because there's no one else near it. And then, maybe, run up to here and push her off the edge. Didn't quite work as planned. Okay, Will. My man. Can you draw a bead on this bugger? This bad birdie. Oh yeah.
Are they gone?
Right. That's warning. That's a bit harsh. That's just being nasty and bullying. Yes, they're gone. Are you alright?
No. Yes, I mean... I don't know.
Now, just... Ooh, go back to your... So those are the same lines before. Just take a deep breath. You know, take a breath. Nice, deep, slow. Try to relax. You're safe now.
That's what the voice said. I almost got to the nest, but the singing... I need to get back. Mole will be so mad. Wait, you should meet Mole. She'll be grateful you helped me. Find a boy called Donny. Tell him you want to see the dragon's lair.
I swear that's not a euphemism. But it does sound a bit dodgy. We should totally hit this short rest button, even though we're standing right in the middle of water. No, let's at least get onto dry land. But let's go see if they had any treasure from all the victims they'd lured out here over the however long they'd been here. Oh look, here's a great big treasure chest. 5 gold coins a day. It's not the best treasure haul in the world, but could be a lot worse, you know? Maybe there's something out here for us as well. We could jump across to... Oh, hello. I didn't do this last time. What are we... like here? Can we go up here? What is over this way? Oh, do I see? Yeah, okay. Oh, hello.
Let's see what those harpies were hoarding.
I'm sorry. This letter is heavily creased, as if it's been folded and unfolded many times. It's marked by water stains that could only have come from tears. Miriam, I'm sorry it's been so long since I've written. A lot has happened. First, some good news. Maggie Two Fingers won't be bothering you anymore. I paid her back in full. I'm sorry, she should never have got your name in the first place. Now for the bad news. My love, I'm not coming home. Not for a while at least. The money came from a mercenary group. Probably best I don't give you their name. And I agreed to a couple of jobs in the Icewind Dale in return. Oh, don't, it's a shithole. It's just dungeon crawls and no role-playing. They paid me up front because, gods, it's so strange to write, because they needed a warlock. They needed me. I took the deal the Cambion offered. I'm not going to say I had no choice, because that would be a lie. But I don't regret it. I'm a new man. I feel strong for the first time in my life. Aside from being awoken in the middle of the night by the smell of sulphur, he likes to drop by to see how everyone is going. I got no complaints. If you don't reply to this letter, I understand. And if you don't want me to come back at all, well, I understand that too. I love you, Miriam, and I want you to be happy even if it's not with me. Edmund. I feel that I should collect these letters just on the off chance that actually I run into the people they're written to later on and it becomes important. Here we have an onyx, some bones, and a ring of colour spray. When the light hits it just so, the centre jewel shimmers with every colour of the rainbow. Right, now, I don't think Mol is an actual dragon, okay? I think the Dragon's Lair is just like some cool place for kids like to hang out. Look, if there's an actual dragon here, I imagine all the druids would know about it, right? And I imagine that I also imagine it won't be the red dragon that attacked the vessel. Why am I missing... Astarion, what are you doing? Is this going to be a problem? Is he stuck again? I have noticed that after this fight on the beach, usually one party member is stuck. Usually Astarion. And just not wanting to come out of the water. It might be something to do with if they were the ones... Why did he take damage just for walking through the water there? Maybe because he is a vampire? Hmm? It's a distinct possibility. I mean, it's reasonable to suspect that's running water, although he took no damage in it earlier.
You know about these parasites. Will we survive them?
Only if my people extract them. The only other cure is the blade.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna go look for Donny, right? I suspect he's not in the druid enclosure part of the grove where the ritual is going on. Even though when I first came across Aphira, I commented on how so many tieflings, who are supposed to be banned from this portion of the grove, seem to have total free reign over it. And it's very odd. Also, there is a bear down there by the beach who smacks the water with his paw, and every time he smacks the water with his paw, fish appear on the ground next to him, and then he eats the fish, and then he smacks water with his paw. However, the first time I saw him smack the water with his paw, the words "fighting style" appeared over his head. And I was like, oh, don't tell me he's some kind of monk. Or that's how they're doing the fighting style rounds. But the main reason I bring this up is because when I first found Aphira here, the mountain shook every time he smacked the water. I was like, are we really supposed to think he's got that much force in his paws? I mean, I'm not going to mess with him anyway. There he is. There's the bear down there. He is clearly bear fishing, you know, with his paws. So we're going to go look for Donnie, and I suspect he's not in the grove itself, but in the portion outside that is full of tiefling refugees. We should probably talk to these tieflings at some point and ask them why they've become so unwelcome in their previous place. Has some kind of, you know, powerful priest or inquisitor stirred up people against you, maybe? And I was strongly under the impression that this would be Donnie right here, standing next to Matthias. However, that is not the case. Donnie is in fact right here instead. And when I last talked to him, I messed it up completely, so I'm going to try to not make the same mistake again.
He stares right past you as if you're invisible or boring.
So, last time, I asked if he was alright, and he just kind of went, And I turned around to see where he was going, and he went and squirreled himself away under the rocks behind him, which blatantly have got some boards blocking up a hole. And I failed a dice roll to see where he'd gone, so I wasn't able to follow. So I'm going to do it this way instead, because I wasn't sure if he was going to come out if I went away and came back again or not. So, you're Donnie, right? I want to see the dragon's lair.
He nods, then reaches for a concealed hatch.
It isn't that concealed. Hey, thanks for showing me the door. Hello? He might
His
not
eyes
be...
flicker to yours for an instant, then away, as if it hurts to look at you.
He might be dumb, by which I mean mute. Let's go find out what's through that hatch, though. Yeah, I could say, but that will have to wait till the next episode, but no, you know what? Sod it, I'm going to do this. Tiefling hideout. Well, let me just check. Yep, all recording good. Okay. I spy with my little eye something we could jump to. I spy with my little eye a thief who likes to steal things. Target is too far. Not if you're a Githyanki, it's not. Let's hope this lasts long enough. And back again, please. Yep. There we go. 7 gold. Probably not worth the leap, but hey. She got to show off and finally use her psychic ability powers. Alright, so let's go down here and see where this mole is. So we have a barricade here, blocking it off, and a little bit of bunting. You know, like this is the special place to go. The kids love it. Are you mole? You are. Let's say hello.
Well, look who's come to visit. Merkon says you got him out of a tight spot with some harpies. Gotta say, I'm impressed.
I wonder if she's supplying Matthias the things that he sells. Well, yep, happy to help.
And we're happy to be helped. Now, what can I do for you?
What are you doing down here in this cave?
Making sure we're ready to leave when the time comes.
Now. Right, so I want to say the Tiefling children seem to be an organised crime gang, and their leader seems to be in on it, because something he said indicated that he might have put the Tiefling girl up to stealing the artifact, the idol, to try and delay the ritual so that the Tieflings could stay here longer. So it's not as one-sided as you think. It's not like the Druids are bad and the Tieflings are good. Thought you might need help with something.
I do, as a matter of fact. Revenge.
Uh-oh.
The bastards that killed Arabella. She was a precious little thing. Like a sister to me. I want to steal that big, shiny idol they're all chanting at.
Hey, steady on. I don't think I should, Yeah, count me out. I'm not getting involved in that. That's way too dodgy. Hang on. Yeah, but what are you going to do with it? What will you do with such an idol?
The important thing is to get it away from them. That ritual's gonna get us all killed. And we can sell it once we get to the city. Might be worth enough to pay a priest to bring Arabella back.
But can't we just go and find the druid who's supposed to be in control and bring him back, even though he's probably been turned into a mind flayer that we need to kill to end the chapter or something? I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Be careful. They look as brittle as old bark. But they're vicious. Anything else?
Yeah, do you have anything to sell that's, like, better than the stuff Matthias has got outside? You have a pair. No coins. Right. I think maybe I should give you this bread. And this cheese. And ask nothing in return. So you have a little more to help you prepare. Oh, these apples too. Both the apples. There we go.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
You've been a friend to us. Come back anytime.
Now I want to see who else is down here. That mirror looks very familiar. Those of you who played Divinity Original Sin will know kind of... And I don't mean that mirror. No, I mean this is like more like a generic mirror model they had. There's a book there. The Guild, Hidden Rulers of Baldur's Gate. Sounds like a Thieves Guild to me. There's a combat training dummy with a shield, a pack strapped on its back. The pack will hopefully give it a bit more weight and stability so it doesn't wobble around all over the place so much when it gets hit. Who are you? You are Mercon. That's fine. But who else is down here? I don't need to jump to get to here. Look, it's right here. Silly game. I imagine that to the Tiefling children, this uninhabited cave was once the home of a great dragon. Also, they're scaly and red, and yeah, they could easily think of themselves as dragons, right? Don't want to jump off there. That wouldn't end well, and I probably won't be allowed to anyway. But I'm glad I came down here and checked this out. I am able to run through that small gap. That's impressive. Can I check out over here? Just in case there's anything more. Look, if I had difficulty jumping that gap without magic, those little kids are going to have even more difficulty because they just don't have the length of stride. So I'm glad I did come back down in here. And now I think I'll go outside and prepare to end the episode, because I've done quite well. You know, I've repeated most of my steps from last time, talked over similar talking points, and hopefully provided suitable entertainment, despite it being a repeat performance for me. So where do we go from here? We go back outside to the tunnel which we originally wanted Astarion to search for traps for us. And we check out the cave outside the village that's been overtaken by goblins, and decide if we want Astarion for that or if we want Gale back in the party. Gale is fun to have along. He's got a better personality than most of the other sods we've met up with. Although I have seen comments and spoilers that something rather nasty is going to happen to him and there's not a lot we can do about it. And I hope that's not the case. There's another little squirrel there having a run around. Hey, you should go listen to the lady over there playing music. You'd really like it. But yeah, for now though, I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I do look forward to seeing you all in the next one. I'm going to say bye-bye for now, and cheerio everyone!